So today in this session we are going to discuss some of the question from first paper, because if we neglect the first paper then it will be very much difficult for all of us to get a JRF in NTNet exam. So we must have to pay our attention on the first paper and we must have to practice the previous year question. So here I am just discussing some of the crucial questions and which will be very much important in respect of NTNet. So those who are new in this channel, please subscribe and share this with your friends so that they can come into the periphery of this channel. So without wasting much more time, let's begin today's lesson. The first question, which of the following comprise teaching skill? So you have to mention the option among the options which comprise the teaching skill, and the options are blackboard writing, option B questioning, option C explaining, and option D above all. If you look all the options, it seems to all of us that all the criteria, all the options are just related to the teaching skill, because if you don't have your capability of questioning or explaining, then you can never be a good teacher. Again, if you can't write down in a blackboard, then it will be quite difficult for the learners to learn. So in this respect, it seems that option D is the right answer, so the right answer of this question is option D, all of the above. So for a teaching skill, we need a blackboard writing, we need questioning, we need explaining. Now here comes question number 2. Which of the following statement is most appropriate? So here are 4 options. We have to tell which is most appropriate statement. And the options are teachers can teach, teachers help can create in a student a desire to learn, lecture method can be used for developing thinking, teachers are born. If you look into all the options, we can say that teachers are born is not true. So we can eliminate this option D. Again, option number C, lecture method can be used for developing thinking. No. Actually, lecture method can never develop the thinking process of the learners, because in a lecture method, what we see, the lecturer or the teacher comes and goes on lecturing. Whether the learners are learning or not, they are not given any space to express their own opinion. So in this respect, we can say that lecture method is not at all appropriate. Option A, teachers can teach. Actually, teachers' job is to teach, but it is not at the same time quite appropriate, because there are many others who can also teach. So whether they are teacher or not, in various field we can see that they also teaching us. So because teaching can happen at any level of our life, whether you are getting your tutelage from a layman or from any other person. So option number B, teachers help can create in a student a desire to learn. This is the appropriate answer of this question. So the right answer of question number 2 is option number B, because the teachers are wholly concerned about the development of learner. So if they can create in a learner the atmosphere of learning, if they create in a learner a curiosity, then the learners learn quite easily. Now comes question number 3. The first Indian chronicler of Indian history was, and the options are Megasthenes, option B Phaihian, option D Huensang, and option D the Colhon. Megasthenes, we all know, is famous for his Indica. Phaihian and Huensang came from China, but Colhon is the first chronicler of India from Kashmir, and so therefore the right answer of question number 3 is option number D. Now question number 4, which of the following statement is correct? And here 4 sentences are there, 4 statements are there. We have to find out which is correct one. Syllabus is a part of curriculum. Option B, syllabus is an annexure to curriculum. Option C, curriculum is the same in all educational institutions affiliated to a particular university. Syllabus is not the same in all educational institutions affiliated to a particular university. The right answer of question number 4 is option A. Syllabus is part of a curriculum. If you look the another options, it must not be quite true. It must not appear quite true, because if you look into the option D, it is said that syllabus is not same in all educational institutions affiliated to a particular university. Just take the example of Delhi University. If you are reading in a Delhi University, and if you are reading in any colleges under Delhi University, you must have to acknowledge that you are just learning the same syllabus. But here what is mentioned that you are not learning the same syllabus. So in this respect, we must not consider this option D. Curriculum is the same in all educational institutions affiliated to a particular university. Curriculum is the same. Actually, curriculum and syllabus, there is a huge difference. So in this respect, we must not consider option number C. Again, syllabus is an annexure to curriculum. This is not also right. So the correct answer of option number B is option number A. Syllabus is a part of curriculum. Question number 5. Which of the two given options is of the level of understanding? Define noun and define noun in your own words. Actually, if we want to learn whether the learner has learned or not, whether how much learner is knowledgeable, then we must have to have a delve into the understanding level of the learner. So whenever we are asking define noun in your own words, actually what we are asking, we are asking the learner to define noun in his own words. What he actually understood must be expressed in his own words about noun. So the right answer of question number 5 is option number B, that is only 2. So this is the right answer of question number 5. Which of the following options are the main task of research in the modern society? To keep pace with the advancement in knowledge, to discover new things, to write a critique on the earlier writings, to systematically examine and critically analyze the investigation or researches in or sources in objectivity. And the options are there 4 1 4 to 1 1 to 3 1 and 3 2 3 and 4. The right answer of question number 6 is option number B, that is 1 2 and 3. So this is the right answer of question number 6. Now question number 7, match list 1 interviews with list 2 meaning and select the correct answer from the code given below. So we have been given 2 columns and we must have to connect or must have to relate as per the meaning of the column 1 words. First one is structured interview, second one unstructured interviews, third one focused interviews, and fourth one clinical interviews. So clinical interviews is an interview where we just want to have a history of a individual person, because it is often used in psychology or in case of doctoral advices. Whenever you go to doctor, then doctor asks some of the questions to get your own experiences. So in this respect, they must be related with individual life experience. So D goes with option number 3. Now look into the focused interview. Actually what happens, the focused interview is an interview where much of the attention is given to a particular aspect, only a specific intention. So focused interview is goes with option number 2, attention to the question to be answered. Now here comes question. Here option number 2, unstructured interviews. Actually it is an interview where the interviewer asks you anything whatever he likes. So there is no specific rule, so there is no specific circumstances. He may ask anything whatever he likes. So here we can say that unstructured interview goes with option number 1, that is greater flexibility approach. Structured interview is just the opposite of the unstructured interview, where there is a stipulation and the interviewer asks a question from a specific field, from a particular field, and structured interview goes with a predetermined question. So if we match all the answer, then the right answer will be option number A. So the right answer of question number 7 is option number A. Now comes question number 8. What do you consider as the main aim of interdisciplinary research? And the options are to bring out holistic approach to research, to reduce the emphasis of single subject in research domain, to cover simplify the problem of research, to create a new trend in research methodology. So these are the options, and we have to tell what the main aim of interdisciplinary research. Interdisciplinary research means two subjects which are related to each other, and whenever research is carried on, the two subjects are required for this research. And the right answer of question number 8 is option number A, to bring out holistic approach to research. Now comes question number 9. One of the aims of the scientific method in research is to improve data interpretation. Option number B, eliminate spurious relations. Option number C, confirm triangulations. And option number D, introduce new variables. And the right answer of the aim of scientific method in research is to eliminate spurious relations. So the right answer of question number 9 is option number B, eliminate spurious relations. Question number 10. The depth of any research can be judged by the title of the research, objective of the research, total expenditure of the research, and option D, duration of the research. The right answer of question number 10 is the objective of the research. This is the right answer of question number 10. So today's session just here comes to an end. If you find anything beneficial, please don't forget to subscribe and share this channel. Thank you once again.